The following video was part of a live stream. The songbook funeral will now commence.
No! This might be it.
We are gathered here today to honor and celebrate the life of a fallen competitor of EWOW, a real one. This man is Songbook, and here is his story.
I have one last announcement I want to make on the big screen while I've still got your attention. So keep your ears open because here's what I've got to say.
On November 18th, 2023, during the Texas Object Hangout event held in Texas, 10 Words of Wisdom's second season, 11 Words of Wisdom, was announced by Carrie KH. This was the direct season for the birth of Songbook. Now, I understand that some of our guests might not know what exactly EWOW is, and with that in mind, I would like to welcome to explain what EWOW is, me from 2 days ago at 2 AM. Take it away, me. EWOW is a competition hosted by Carrie KH, who was the person who made BFDI, the first object show. We compete as books, such as this guy. Holy hell, is that Markiplier? This is a funeral, we gotta keep this professional. Everyone gets 3 lives each, and you also get this confessional thing, which is like a comment after you submitted your response, basically. Here's how it works. You get a prompt, and each person needs to respond to that prompt in 11 words or fewer, but 11 words is optimal. After everyone responds, every vote gets anonymized and shuffled and put onto voting screens, because each vote will be rated from best to worst, but through the process of democracy. After the voting period is over, the votes are tallied up and averaged. Then that average score is compared to the other competitors. And if you beat 50% of competitors in terms of your average, congratulations, you don't lose a life. And if you get in the top 5%, you even gain a life. However, if you don't make it in any of those, you lose a life and are one step closer to dying. The books are canonically thrown off a cliff and die, don't worry about it. And this goes on and on until just one EWOWer is left, and who is declared the winner of EWOW. Oh, and did I mention that about 16,000 people showed up? Thank you, me. With sign-ups quickly approaching in December, I got to work immediately. By which I mean a month later, and after a few hours in a voice chat on Discord. On December 17th, 2023, at approximately 1:18 a.m., SongBook was born. Even since birth, SongBook knew what he wanted to be, an EWOW competitor. That's why, just a few hours after birth, I signed him up to EWOW so that he could follow his dreams and passions. Unfortunately, he did not notice the fine print, which stated everyone who lost would be thrown off a cliff. I did not cover it up with my finger as he was signing the paperwork. And so, he was faced with his first prompt. What did 10 say when he was upgraded to 11? His first test of creativity. He responded with, $1 is one word. Does that mean I get 11? A clear nag at the winner receiving 11 words of wisdom. The words in this case being dollar. Incorporating a currency aspect relating to various societies. A strong start for his first step in the EWOW competition. But was it enough? Viewers cast their votes for the responses in randomized voting screens, each voting screen having 11 responses to order from best to worst. Here is what the public masses have decided. SongBook received 1,335th place based on his average. But was that enough to place him in the safe zone? Yes, it is! It was. Out of 16,607 responses, his was not even close to the losing zone. Take a look at that large gray bar. With an average of 76.3%, letting him keep his 3 lives for another day. We now go to EWOW 2, where the prompt was, 6 years ago, we feasted on Tide Pods. Which pods are we feasting on now? A reference to a quote-unquote trend happening a few years back regarding Tide Pods. So, what did SongBook respond with? Wait, you guys stopped? Why did I not know about this? A very out-of-the-box response to the question. Whereas most would think to say something like AirPods or podcasts, SongBook stood out from the crowd and found humor in the shock of a person continuously ingesting Tide Pods. But what did the voters think? Viewers cast their votes and sealed SongBook's fate. Here is what they decided. SongBook received 75th place. An already astounding result. And is it enough? Of course, it is. And SongBook even manages to get into the top 5% with an 84.1% average, making him gain a 4th life. An honor that only the best of the best get to experience. Out of 8,623 people, he managed to get into the top 100, and he would surely remember this day for a long time. However, his success doesn't end there. That same day, on April 26, 2024, mark that day on your calendars, he managed to get into the eyesight of the host, Carrie KH. If you were to trace the host's line of eyesight, you would see that he's looking directly at him. Don't do that, just believe my words. It was guaranteed that he would remember this day for the rest of his life. It was one of, if not the best days in his life. After such success, his morale is high as he continues his journey, coming face to face with the EWOW 3 prompt. Our first EWOW friends will be eliminated this round. What does the EWOW afterlife look like? A clear reference to the extreme mortality of the books in EWOW. How did SongBook handle it? He responded with,
Their 11 stands with 7, as they both deserve true heaven.
There seems to be a grasp at votes from the fans of the series X finds out his value. But how many voters truly are fans of said series? We are about to find out. Voters cast their votes once again. Here are the results. Sadly, not many of the voters were fans of X Finds Out His Value. Songbook lost the life he gained just an episode prior. He received 4,869th place. And to eliminate all doubt, it was not in the gray zone. As the voters decided with a 45.4% average and 8,062 people, he did not deserve his bonus life anymore. However, this just meant that he was back to square one. He still had 3 lives left. Maybe with this next prompt, he could still push himself back up. The EWOW 4 prompt was the following. Choose a word, example, darkness. Then write an acronym describing the opposite of that word. Example, daylight approaches, radiation kindles nearly everywhere, soaking sunlight. A brain teaser. Something that makes you think. So, how did Songbook deal with it? There is no way to say this besides doing so bluntly. Songbook did not respond to the EWOW 4 prompt. Maybe it was because of the shock of such a sheer fall in average that made him freeze up, or that the brain teaser was simply too much for him at what mental state he was in at the time. Whatever it was, Songbook did not participate, making him fall from 4 to 2 lives in the span of just 2 episodes. Around this time, an art competition called Art Fight was beginning, and maybe to increase his morale, or simply because of him not knowing what else to do, on the 29th of June 2024, Songbook decides to sign himself up to be drawn. Maybe this would make him feel better and give him some ideas. And, amazingly, throughout the competition in July, people begin to notice and draw him. His facial looks and maybe even character seem to have resonated with at least 8 people who decided to take it upon themselves to draw him in various art styles. These art pieces, along with the artists, were shown as tributes in the intro. With his newfound morale, Songbook takes it upon himself to answer the EWOW 5 prompt. You are sent back to the 5555 BCE. Convince the people there that you're a god. Songbook responded, Hey, nice up, god. What is up, god? Not much, how about you? A creative way of playing on words of the up dog trick. A promising response. But will this be enough to sway the voters? Voters cast their votes once more. Here are the results. Songbook beats the odds by getting into the top 500 with 333rd place. That is 3 frees, despite his 2 previous losses. Is it enough? Yes! Yes, it is! Songbook manages to make it back into the safe zone with an average of 68.7% and 4,016 people. Unfortunately, he passes right under the green zone by less than 4% of people and does not manage to gain back a life. However, what matters most is that he survived this elimination. Art Fight clearly had a positive influence on him. However, Art Fight was now over, and the EWOW 6 prompt was give a false reason for a true fact. Songbook responded with,
You cannot see me because I am right behind you. Hi!
For this response, we managed to find an audio recording where Songbook discusses the thought process behind this response, which will be played now.
You see, I just couldn't really process this prompt well. It was so verbose that the real difficulty was with just trying to figure out what it means. I don't really know why, but this was something I really struggled with this time around. The first thing I came up with had to do with setting the reader's kitchen on fire, but I thought that threats wouldn't really resonate with people. So I opted for this sort of cheery, innocent comment that seems like a threat at first, but it isn't. Like an invitation for a hug, you see? I was running out of time as well. It really wasn't easy.
Voters cast their votes. Will this type of thinking resonate with the voters? A slight decrease when compared to EWOW 5, 1549th place. But is it enough not to fall into the danger zone? Sadly not. Falling about 100 places short, Songbook loses another life by an average of 48.3% and 2,767 people, getting him down to his final life. Seeing this tragedy play out, I will now take this moment to go through Songbook's confessionals throughout EWOW. My name is SongGame, and I forgot what a confessional is. But I am a song, and I am a game too. The only reason my prompt to this episode was this way was because I don't know what other pods to include. My response makes it seem like I murdered both 11 and 7. I did not, I promise. I want a lawyer. Visit Artfight. It's fun. I appoint Hryhoff as my running mate. She is the only one left. No ho ho, this might be it. If I don't make it out of here, I want to give a shout out to Hryhoff. Submitting this on Friday the 13th gives me even worse luck, but oh well. Proud of myself for making it this far. The EWOW 7 prompt was: in a world of sentient objects, one object is running for president. Give an example of an object and what its presidential campaign slogan would be. Songbook responded with,
Armless wheelchair, still in mind. There is no object left behind.
it is a clear last-ditch effort at swaying the voters through a catchy rhyme and inclusivity. But is that really what the voters want? Voters cast their votes, in the case of Songbook, for potentially the last time, sealing his fate. This is what the democratic majority decided. Songbook receives 1,781st place, not higher than last time, but maybe, by some sliver of a chance, he might still be able to make it. These are the results. With an average of only 36.2%, his lowest of the entire show, out of 2,152 people, Songbook is among those who lose their final lives, ending his journey on the 7th episode of EWOW. Domus Omnium Mortuorum, Songbook, who was born on the 17th of December 2023 at approximately 1:18 a.m. and died on the 30th of September 2024 at approximately 6:09 a.m. by the will of democracy. May his soul rest in peace. SongBook's final placement was 2088 out of 16,607 people, which is the top 12.6%. His best placement was in EWOW 2, when he placed 75th out of 8,623, this being as high as the top 0.8%. SongBook lived through 7 EWOW releases before meeting his demise and being thrown off a cliff. I would now like to mention some of the people of honor who accompanied SongBook on his journey. SMW, who ended his journey 11,408 in EWOW 3. Delango, who ended their journey 7,257th in EWOW 4. Lemonade, who ended his journey 5,050th in EWOW 5. The Green Flame, who ended their journey 4,009th also in EWOW 5. And Hryof, who managed to navigate through EWOW well enough to still be on her journey with 3 lives to her name as of EWOW 7, who I would like to wish the very best of luck. Now, let us have a moment of silence for SongBook and for all of the other books who have ended their EWOW journey. Silence over. Thank you for attending the SongBook funeral.
No, this might be it.